Hello guys, this is going to be a really quick one because I just watched an Atheist Spoons video, and the episode brought up a lot of good points. It's that the religious people don't stop and think about what they believe in, right? They don't actually think about what they believe. They're just told that this is a good thing to do, this is what you're supposed to do, and they do it, right? They're just told what to say, how to act, and they do so. But they don't actually question, and that's a very important thing, and that's what separates atheists from the religious, is that we question that. We question things. We might accept it, but we still question it. Like, I still question the universe. I know that it exists, but I would still question things that I already know. Like, I would question why we had slavery. I know we had slavery, but what I would be asking is why we had it in the first place. Why was it needed in the first place? Why we couldn't just have people volunteer for this and get paid for it, and work on the plantations, and and be decent people. But instead we had black people selling black people, and black people owning white people and black people, and whipping them, beating them, and causing unimaginable pain for them. For those of you that don't know, yeah, black people did finance the Confederacy. Black people did own white people. White people did own black people. This is, I like to say that if one group can do it, another group can do it. In the South, that was true. Blacks owned whites, whites owned blacks. It was interchangeable. Though I would imagine that black people probably didn't own as many white people as white people owned black people. But they did exist, and they are there, and you can look it up. But the thing is, the thing that I think most religious people need to understand and really question is, do you support a God that would burn me at the stake, or have me tortured and beaten forever and ever and ever and ever, simply because I don't believe the same way that you do, or I don't view him as necessary as you do? Now, I could be a decent human being. I could go out and donate blood and help the needy and give food to people. But if I don't believe in God, I'll burn in hell. But Adolf Hitler, if he repented just before he shot himself in the head under Berlin in Germany, if he repented, if he asked for forgiveness, that son of a bitch is up in heaven having a fucking martini. Justice is not solved if that is the requirement. It's just not. You have a decent human being that donates blood and gives food to the needy and basically does everything good for mankind, but he is not religious. He'll burn in hell. He'll burn in hell, and he'll be in agony simply because he does not believe in your God. And that's just so evil. And then you act like it's okay. It's not okay. It makes no fucking sense. I mean, think about that for 5 fucking seconds. Does that make sense to you? A good human being who has never hurt anyone in their entire life does not believe in God, so they should burn and be in agony forever. But a rapist asks for forgiveness by God, and he gets to enjoy the nice, pleasant, the privileges and pleasures of the best afterlife ever. Hot tubs and jacuzzis and beautiful scenery and whatever else. And this decent human being who has basically given way more than they've ever got is going to burn in hell and suffer simply because they don't believe in God. And I, as an atheist, don't find that to be justice. I don't find that to be worthy of worship. I find that to be worthy of absolute hatred and disdain. Now, I'm no fan of Adolf Hitler. I think he's an evil motherfucker. And honestly, if hell does exist, he deserves the best hell has to provide. Chains and, and hot chains. I mean, white hot chains that are white, basically all around his arms and legs and torso, and whipped repeatedly with the harshest of whips that leave the deepest gashes. And then to have a file put on them to basically singe them shut, and then have that happen again and again and again. And every day his body heals, and so that the next day he can be wiped around with white hot chains and whipped with the whips over and over again. But he deserves that. He deserves to be in absolute agony. Because he killed millions of people. But in this hypothetical situation, does that man deserve that fate of donating blood and giving food to the homeless and playing with children and giving toys to children and giving far more than they have ever received? But simply because he doesn't believe or she doesn't believe in God, they are born. Justice is not solved if that is how your God decides who goes up and who goes down. Now, I am an atheist. I admit that I don't understand your God like you do, but you are in a religion who supports this guy. You should understand if it's moral or not. And if it's not moral, then you should stop. That is simply on the moral ground. That isn't me saying you should stop going to church. That is just me saying that if you really think about it, and you come to the understanding that that's not decent, that's not right. A moral human being, a loving God, would never do that. They would see that this man has given more than they've ever received, and regardless of belief or not, they should get to heaven. They should. Now, I'm all for forgiveness. I am. If you ask for forgiveness, forgiveness is given. But actions should also carry weight. And if you killed millions of people, forgiveness is only going to get you so far. Okay? Again, I'm all for forgiveness. But at the same time, if you killed millions of people, I'm sorry, ain't going to cut it. It ain't. Okay? You can probably get to see the Paulie Gates and maybe meet St. Peter? And shake his hand, but then you gotta go to hell. Okay? All I'm asking from the religious people, Jews, Muslims, religion, whatever religion, think about what you believe. Alright? Think about what you believe, and if it's moral, continue doing it. But if you find it to be immoral, then stop going. Stop reading the book. Stop going to church. I'm not saying go and be an atheist, but I'm saying if you find it to be immoral, stop promoting these ideas. Stop acting like it's okay to do. Stop acting like it's acceptable and that it's moral. Because it's not. And by you supporting this, you are just as evil as that God is. The difference being is that he can improve the world instantly. You can't. He has the power to make our lives significantly better. He could heal the sick and cure any disease, but he simply does not. And that you have to seriously question why. Why, if a loving God exists, why would he not help us? That's a serious question you should think about. See ya.